Hello aspirants, welcome back to India for IAS. This is Manjunath Mudho. In this video, we are going to study about free movement regime. The free movement regime was in news recently because Indian government announced its intention to end the free movement regime along India and Myanmar border. Then what is free movement regime? As the name itself indicates, free movement regime is allowing the citizens of the countries, in this case India and Myanmar, allowing the citizens of the countries, that is India and Myanmar citizens, to move freely across the borders, without any need for visa or travel permits, without any need for visas and travel permits. So that's why it is called as free movement regime. And it is an intergovernmental agreement. It is an intergovernmental agreement. So it is an agreement between India and Myanmar countries to allow their citizens to move freely across the borders. Moving on to the key characteristics of free movement regime. First one is it is a visa free travel. It is a visa free travel. So citizens of both the countries do not require any visa or travel permit to cross the borders. The second character is it applies to limited area. It applies to limited area. It means the visa free travel permit does not extend to whole territory of both the nations. So it applies to a specific area that is mentioned in the agreement between both the countries. Say if this is the border, so it is India and it is Myanmar. So from border 16 kilometer towards India and 16 kilometer to inside Myanmar. So it applies to some specific area, not the whole country. So the specifications are mentioned in agreement. The third character is it applies to specific populations. It applies to specific populations, not the whole populations residing in that area. Specific populations means the populations which share common ethnicity, religion, race and culture. So in order to preserve their indigenous culture, the free movement regime is opted. The fourth character is requirement of permits or passes. So this requirement applies to the requirement of permit or passes applies to some specific free movement regimes, not the whole free movement regimes. So the requirement is mentioned in the agreement between the two countries. And the fifth character is duration of stay. The fifth character is duration of stay. The free movement regime allows the citizens to stay across the borders for say around few days to several weeks, and it does not permit to stay indefinitely. So coming to the benefits of free movement regime, the first one is it facilitates cross-border interaction. So it facilitates cross-border interaction. So what kind of interaction? Cross-border interaction like trade, cross-border interactions like trade, family visits, then cultural exchanges, social connections. So these are the few cross-border interactions between the communities. The second benefit is it boosts the local economies. So it boosts the local economies in terms of say trade and tourism. So it boosts the local economies in terms of trade and tourism. The third benefit is it strengthens the regional cooperation. It strengthens the regional cooperation among nations. Along with the benefits that we have discussed so far, the free movement regime also poses few challenges like security concerns. So it also poses challenges like security concerns. So what are the security concerns associated with free movement regime? The first one is illegal immigration. So people across the border can use free movement regime to immigrate to other countries illegally. Illegal immigration. And the second one is smuggling. Smuggling of gold, silver, rice, daily essential items, cement, etc. And infiltration of criminal elements and terrorists. Infiltration of criminal elements and terrorists. So these are the security concerns associated with free movement regime. The second main challenge is management and enforcement of free movement regime. Management and enforcement of free movement regime. So what are the challenges associated with management and enforcement? It requires administrative frameworks and resources to manage the border crossings and ensure compliance with regulations. So in order to ensure compliance with regulations, the free movement regime requires the robust administrative frameworks and resources across the borders. So without these robust administrative frameworks and resources, the security concerns cannot be ensured. Otherwise, the illegal immigrants, smuggling, and criminal or terrorist elements can easily cross the borders. And the third challenge is inequality. As the free movement regime applies to specific area and specific population across the borders, so the other communities which are staying in the same region may not get the benefit. So this causes dissatisfaction among the communities. Moving to the India-Myanmar Free Movement Regime. So it was established in the year 1970s. And it was revised once in the year 2016. So it is applicable to hill tribes. Who are residing within 16 kilometer of the border on either side. So within 16 kilometer of the border on either side. If it is India and if it is Myanmar, 16 kilometer from the border on either side. The hill tribes, and it is applicable to hill tribes. Now aspirants are requested to make a list of hill tribes which are residing across the borders. Make a list of hill tribes which are residing across the India-Myanmar border. So then it allows visa-free travel up to 2 weeks. The India-Myanmar free movement regime offers visa-free travel up to 2 weeks with a valid border pass. So they also offer a valid border pass. Finally, in the year 2024 January, Indian government planned to end the free movement regime, citing security concerns. And then the government is planning to start a smart fencing system across India-Myanmar border. It is going to install smart fencing system across India-Myanmar border, and if anyone crossing this border, they require visa. So if the free movement regime ends, means anyone who is crossing this border, they require visas. So far we have discussed free movement regime, its characters, benefits, challenges, and India-Myanmar free movement regime. So we have provided one prelims practice question based on the topics that we have discussed so far. So aspirants are requested to go through the question and comment their answers. Thank you for watching. We will connect in the next video. Till then, happy learning.